Today is Saturday, September 17th, 2011, 4:05 in the afternoon. The Muslim community has decided to have an appreciation rally in Toronto District School Board. I have someone here from the Islamic community who's representative of the community and have a few things to say. My question to you, it would appear that the opposition is saying that the TDSB has made a special exemption for Muslim students to pray in public schools on Fridays. What are your thoughts on that?
It is a special exemption for Muslim students, but having said that, there's also a special exemption for Jewish students at Fisherville Junior Public School. It might not be on a weekly basis, but irregularly the cafeteria is sometimes rented out to the local Jewish community, and students from that school are excused and are actually allowed to go to the cafeteria and attend the prayers. And these are Orthodox prayers as well, so I can only imagine that they are also gender segregated. But again, it is self-imposed. It's not something that is being forced on anyone else. So I think we have to be very careful not to draw false parallels between these prayers and the Lord's Prayer, which was once held in junior public schools. I said the Lord's Prayer when I was in junior public school, but that was said over the PA system, and all the students, Christian and non-Christian, were made to actually stand up and say those prayers. So that is not what is happening here at all. Rather, it's more a case of, excuse me for 30 minutes and I'll be right back. So I think this is a reasonable accommodation, and I think this is a much better model of secularism than the communist model of secularism, which is actually the repression of religious identity. I will pretend during the day to not be a Muslim. You pretend not to be a Christian, he'll pretend not to be a Hindu, she'll pretend not to be a Jew, and then we can get along if we pretend to be something other than what we are. I think we have a much more beautiful model that is already at work. We're not trying to change anything. This has already been happening for at least 15 years. The high school I went to, Western Collegiate Institute, which is also in Toronto, 15 years back, 1994, 1995, we had the Jummah Friday prayers being said in the auditorium. So it was never an issue. But post 9/11, provincial elections coming up, we have certain fringe groups now that are making a big deal out of it.
There's going to be individuals that watch this video and they're going to say, well, you know what? It's a public school, it's a secular school, whether it be Jewish or Islamic, there should be no prayers in schools whatsoever. What's your thoughts on that?
I think this is easier said than done. I think the same people who are very brave and courageous in showing their political incorrectness when it comes to the issue of Islam, they will not on any practical level show that same courage and bravery in displaying their political correctness against Judaism or any other religion other than Islam. So until I see these protesters protesting and prioritizing the Jewish prayers at the Fisherville Junior Public School, or even better than that, if we look at the broader picture, why only limit it to the public school system? Why not consider the issue that we have public funding for the Catholic School Board, which in my view is a much more, it's a bigger concession, and in their views it should be a more unreasonable concession than the half an hour that is being allotted to these Muslim kids to go to the cafeteria and pray.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I'm not sure if you answered my question though. Is it appropriate for the public school to be allowing prayers of any sort?
Well, the public school board has already determined for the past 15 years that it is appropriate. That would be the answer. And you were not offended by it in the past 15 years. Ron Banerjee was not offended by it in the past 15 years. And if they didn't know about it, then I think that's all the more reason to understand that this is not something that is going to unsettle the system, that's going to create division and schism or sectarianism or anything like that. I came out of that school system and I work alongside people of different faiths. We don't have any problems. And I don't ask my Jewish friends to hide their kosher food. I don't ask my Christian friends to hide their crosses. That's true tolerance. I actually accept them for being different than who I am. They don't have to pretend to be me, and I don't have to pretend to be them.
Wonderful. Can I ask one other question, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, in the public school, when I was younger myself, they did have the Lord's Prayer and so forth, and then they omitted it because they said that, because of other faith systems, they considered it, I guess, unconstitutional. There are those that are arguing on the other side, and they're fearful because of what's been said on the news about radical Islam and Sharia law and so forth. What would you say to those that are watching this video who are concerned about Sharia law or radical Islam? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the debate is not about Saudi Arabia or Iran. The debate is should these students be allowed to pray. So I think there's a lot of fear-mongering that is getting mixed in with the protests. Some of the protesters are adamant in saying that they're not against Islam, but I'm sure you would have seen for yourself. It's all documented. Anyone who spent the day here heard numerous counter protesters making fun of the Qur'an, making fun of the Prophet Muhammad, making fun of Islam, making fun of the hijab. All of those things happened today. It wasn't one or two people, and they have the right to do that. But my point is that they should not be looked upon as subjective. As objective or unbiased commentators on the issue of Muslim prayers in TDSB.
Now, the Interfaith Coalition has said that they're going to continue to protest Muslim students' prayers in the public school. What would you say to those in the Islamic community that want to support your cause?
Well, we should continue to pray. We will continue to pray. And I think that this is being called a multi-religious alliance, but you can pan your camera in that direction right now, and you'll see that you'll be hard pressed. You'll be very hard pressed to find an actual core of about 30 people that are actually part of this multi-religious alliance. Earlier on there were, but we're talking about 100 people. I think the Canadian Hindu advocacy has already been exposed, I think, on numerous places on YouTube as showing that they're not representative of Hindus at all. The largest Hindu groups, the largest Jewish groups, and the largest Christian groups in the city are not at all bothered by the issue of Muslim prayers. It's been a non-issue for them. So they're not representative of the majority at all. I can say that with complete confidence.
Okay, this is Dwight from For His Glory 700. I want to thank you so much for taking your time out to represent the community.